The sky had turned dark, heavy clouds rumbling as the river swallowed the fields below. Samuel stood on the hill, his eyes wide with fear. His sheep were trapped on a shrinking patch of ground, surrounded by the rushing flood. The water was rising fast, twisting and curling like a wild snake, ready to strike. He grabbed his old radio, his voice trembling. "This is Samuel Reed. My flock is trapped in the flood. Please, someone, help me." Static filled the air for a moment, then a steady voice replied. "Rescue Team Alpha here. We're moving out. Hold on, Samuel. Help is coming." Samuel pressed the radio to his chest, whispering, "Please be quick." Far away, alarms echoed in the rescue base. Boots pounded on the floor as men and women rushed to their stations. Captain Elena barked orders. "Load the boats. Engines on." The roar of motors filled the air. The rescue crew, dressed in bright orange suits, fought against the wind and rain. The river was furious, carrying broken logs, chunks of wood, even entire fence posts. Their boat slammed into the current, rocking violently. Spray hit their faces, but no one dared slow down. Elena gripped the steering wheel tight. "Stay steady. We've got lives on the line." Back on the farm, Samuel cried out to his flock. "Stay together, little ones. Just a bit longer." The sheep bleated desperately, some slipping near the water's edge. One tiny lamb stumbled, its hooves splashing into the current before it pulled itself back, trembling. Samuel's heart nearly stopped. Then, through the mist and rain, a small light appeared. The rescue boat was coming closer. Samuel waved both arms wildly, shouting at the top of his lungs. "Here! Over here!" The rescuers spotted him. "There!" Elena pointed, her eyes fixed on the desperate farmer and his terrified animals. But the river was stronger now, smashing against the boat. A massive log floated toward them. "Brace!" one rescuer yelled. The boat jolted as the log scraped along its side with a bone-shaking thud. For a moment, everyone thought it would capsize. But somehow, it stayed afloat. "Push through!" Elena shouted. The crew roared back in unison, holding tight as the boat surged forward into the storm. At last, the boat reached the muddy patch where the sheep huddled. The animals panicked at the sight of strangers, stumbling into each other. Elena raised her voice, calm but firm. "Easy, easy. We're here to help." Two rescuers jumped onto the land, their boots sinking deep. They grabbed the nearest lambs, carrying them to the boat. The sheep kicked and cried, but the rescuers held tight. "Hurry!" Elena yelled. The water was already climbing higher. One by one, the animals were lifted aboard. Samuel's tears blurred his vision. "Bless you, all of you," he whispered. Then came a terrible sound, crack. The ground under the sheep split, part of it sliding into the flood. Samuel shouted in horror. Several sheep slipped, hooves thrashing dangerously close to the water. Without thinking, Elena lunged forward. She caught one sheep by its wool just as it fell, pulling it back with all her strength. The river clawed at her boots, threatening to drag her down, but her crew pulled her up in time. She threw the animal into the boat, gasping. "Not today. Not one." The boat was heavy now, filled with frightened sheep. The current slammed against it harder than before. Elena's knuckles turned white as she gripped the wheel. "Go!" she shouted. The engine roared, pushing against the raging water. The boat tilted dangerously, waves crashing over the sides. One rescuer nearly fell out, only to be saved by another's quick hand. For a second, it seemed hopeless. The flood wanted to win. But inch by inch, they pushed forward. Samuel ran along the shore, shouting encouragement, his heart pounding. "Almost there. Don't give up." At last, the boat slammed onto the riverbank. The crew jumped out, pulling it safely ashore. Samuel rushed forward, hugging his sheep as tears rolled down his face. "You're safe now. You're safe." Elena placed a hand on his shoulder. Her face was tired, but her eyes were steady. "They're alive. That's what matters." Samuel looked at her with gratitude so deep he could not find the words. The storm still roared, the river still raged, but in that moment, with his flock safe beside him, the world felt calm again.